Hello family and friends. Today we're going to be doing some maintenance on this full sun bed, and I wanted to get it in its full glory with all the blooms opened up, but while we're waiting for that to happen, we're going to do some maintenance and get it looking pretty. Now in here we have the Dusty Millers. The Dusty Millers have a nice lacy look to them, and what I'm going to do is go through and cut off these little buds here because, okay, they do flower, but the Dusty Miller, we're growing these for the foliage. See, this foliage here has a frosty look to it, and that's because of these little tiny hairs that grow on it. See how they catch these drops here to slow the moisture down and keep the plant nourished. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this down to some of the bigger leaves and snip it. Okay, I'm just going to go all the way around. See, by pruning this encourages the plant to send its nutrients to the foliage instead of seed or bloom, because these blooms, well, the foliage is more attractive than the blooms are. And what I do is I cut below the foliage line so that all you see across the top is foliage. Now this bird bath bed has been in different videos. One of the videos was planting Stella D'oros to a sunnier spot, and also I did a geranium video on this same bed, and we also had different stages of this same flower bed. That's the thing about gardening. It's a continuous the beds just evolve continuously. Now look, this here, these Stella D'oros have their blooms here about to open, and on this other side here is one that's still open from the first flush of blooms right here. They kind of look like petunias, but the stalks have a vertical habit, and they also have a grassy foliage. Okay, I'm going to continue cutting off the rest of these blooms. The Dusty Miller bloom has like a yellow, a little fuzzy bloom that comes out, but we're more interested in the lacy foliage. So I'm just going to clip these off. Go through, and it also, I mean, not only does it encourage growth on the foliage, it keeps the plant looking neat and tidy and uniform through here. This bed is not necessarily a symmetrical bed. It's more like the natural look cottage garden type of flower bed. Next, I'm going to be pruning the geraniums. So what I'll do here is take this back as far as I can, and you see down in there to the growth point, and clip it. Clipping that off. You have my little pile of stuff over there. And as I go around, another thing that I noticed with this bed is that weeds will grow in between the plants and bloom. And some of my friends, if they don't know the name of a weed, well, this is a clover, obviously. Some of them call them imposters because a lot of the weeds, well, the foliage will look similar to what you're growing. So, and these got nice and tall before I even noticed they were here. I'm just going to reach down as far as possible and pull that out to get as much root as possible. A lot of times when you're pulling weeds, the weeds will break off and the roots will still be there. And people wonder why the weeds come back so quick. That's why. Because the roots are still down there. And we're just going to clean this up and continue to prune the geraniums as we go around. See, this here is obviously spent bloom here. Looks tired and spent. I'm just going to take this down as far as possible and clip it. Before the blooms open, they look like this. It's very interesting looking cluster of pods here. And you can see up at the top the petals are developing, and each one of those will open up, and you have a group of blooms like this that will come out. So I'm going to go through and clip. Now this one here has blooms that haven't opened, so I'll sacrifice a few blooms to get more of a flush of growth. These here, the spirit petals that were under this growth here of dusted millers, when they rest on each other, they stress them out, and this wouldn't have turned out to be a nice bloom anyway. Now sometimes these will fall off by themselves, and you'll have a partial bloom that looks just as good. Okay, just gonna go around and clip. And up here we have the Rudbeckias. These here are a daisy looking flower. I have a short video of the Rudbeckia growth that will show you what they look like. And they have a dark center with the yellow petals, and they get about 4 feet tall, 3.5 to 4 feet tall. And up here at the top I have pansies, which these are the majestic giants, with that little yellow center, the purple, and then on the outer edge is white. See, we've been having cool nights, and it's just recently started to warm up consistently in the daytime. These won't be here that long, but what I'm going to do is just go through and clip the spent blooms, and I'm going to let them last as long as possible. Yep, double. I'll be replacing the majestic giant pansies with white petunias like these. This is another pot here, and they will trail over, and they do really well in full sun. See, now at the top of the bird bath we have these petunias, which I'm gonna let them go as long as possible. We're gonna do a follow-up when the Rudbeckias and Stella D'oros open, so that you see what they look like opened up. And I just wanted to show you a few tips on how to maintain and keep your blooms looking nice, encouraging more blooms, and basically the routine maintenance of plants. Now, the Stella D'oros, you really don't have to deadhead those at all. They just take care of themselves. And the main thing that I really like about this bed, that it's full sun. And let's see, the Rudbeckias or black-eyed Susans and the Stella D'oros are perennials. They'll come back. And in zone 7, well, last year, because of the weather, the dusted millers lasted all year long. So this was just a quick look at the maintenance of the beds and how to keep things looking good. Also, these are drought tolerant plants. I water them maybe twice a week. The temperatures are warming up. You may have to water them more, but the soil can dry out between watering. And that's going to be it for today. I'm going to continue to maintain and prune this bed, these flowers, and hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll get all our new videos. Thanks for watching.